Okay, so start new project. Diana just said, I thought I ingat nak kena tunggu Diana, but she said that parent comes, and then okay, siapa tu ni kan? Okay, someone to the class, so let's try to do as much as possible. So same thing, right? The exercise is macam semalam. Alright, the exercise is just like yesterday exercise, the BMI calculator exercise. Alright, we are still on week 1. So expo init text or property property calculator. npm init property calculator blank, right? Expo edit property calculator, select blank. Okay, CD property calculator, then npm run web. Right, CD property calculator, npm run web, open back Visual Studio Code. Alright, inside Visual Studio Code, I will do property calculator. Okay, so then we will create the UI just like yesterday. We will create the UI, but if you are doing, alright, if you are doing, I want you to see if you can do image. There is this component. There is this component which is called background, image background. Alright, so I want you to try and use image background component. Alright, you try to use image background component inside this exercise. You can just do, for example, phone background. Alright, phone background images. Normally you have lah, right? Maybe you can get something, right? Something yang biru macam ni, alright? Blue like this or something like this, alright? Normally, and then you try to do it. Okay, the image you put inside assets folder. Alright, put the image inside assets folder. So put the image. So there are some challenges for today, right? So put the images inside assets folder and then use image background component, right, to bring out the background image in our app. Okay, so try with that first. Property calculator. Let's get some drink first. Okay, boleh tengok image background. Alright, so how they do it, and they do it after view. So after view. So after view here, I will put an image background, and then this one I tutup here, I close here. Right, so that's how they do it. And then they have this const image equals to URI, so they do it there. So I will do the same thing as well. All right, const image. I will use the same image first, and then all right. So once it does that, all right. Once it does that, I will get the style. All right. So image. I will get the style for image. Then you will notice tak jadi apa-apa. Alright, nothing happened. The reason, image background is not defined. So I have to import image background. Okay, alright, now it's there. Alright, now it's there. So if you don't want this image, then we can just look for something lighter. So for example, something lighter, wallpaper background. Something like this. Right, so copy image address and then I put it here. All right, so that's an example of image background. Okay, so that's an example with image background. All right, once you do that, we will complete the rest for property calculator. Okay, so I'll bring this up. Justify content center. Kan justify content is to bring the things up. So good, like this one, both buang. Alright, both buang. Right now the text is up, and then I remove it, replace it with text box. All right, replace it with text box. Text input. House price, down payment, interest rate. Right, house price, down payment, interest rate. Ini year ni ya. House price, down payment in percent, interest rate, and then how many years. So use this is placeholder. Enter house price, enter down payment percent, interest rate, okay. And then this one, I think it's a slider. All right, slider or something. That one also we will do. Slider might not be on for the first week. We just do text input first. So this one is enter year, loan year. Enter loan year, and then you can use flat button like the last exercise yesterday. Right, add flat button. So text input is not defined. I will import text input. On change text is not defined. This one just do label je lah. Kena macam ni. Text is not defined. Apa I just do const text set text equals to use state open close bracket. All right, so react use state from react. Okay, kenapa macam ni ya? Oh, resize mode cover, remove resize mode cover. Kenapa dia macam ni? Kenapa dia macam ni? Something is wrong with the style. Something is wrong with the style. Okay, I bring out styles input. Styles input. Input. Okay, Asyik buat dulu. I still try to figure out. Just wait equals to 400. Sorry, width equals to 400, 300. Okay, tak buat dulu. Later I check kenapa image background like that. So you just do something like this, something like this. Later I check why the background tertanggal, alright, just like that. So once you have done that, all right, once you have done that, you will do the use state and everything. All right, buat semua yang use state, you do it. And then the button, all right, the button, and then it's almost the same thing as PMI calculator, all right, you calculate the formula. But now you have to calculate the formula. Okay, so same thing, eh? So you will have down payment, right? Const DP, set DP. So enter down payment, set DP. So this means the value is DP. All right, on change text, set DP text. All right, so then we have house price. So house price, set house price. So house price, this one, set house price. Same thing as well, text. This one, interest rate. Right, cons interest rate. Alright, set interest rate. So text, set interest rate text. This one is going to be interest rate. And finally, year, cons year, set year. All right, so this one, year, text, set year, text. Okay, let me check why the thing is not exactly. Is it align item? I think it's align item. Align item. align item, and then this one I think I can put align item. Oh, align item I move here. Align item center. Okay, so like this. The align item that was on the container just now, I move it inside image. So now the thing is like what I want. I will just add a text here. I think there was a text here. Text loan calculator. All right. And then I will just do style. All right, style. Header text. Styles dot header text. Font size 32. Color blue. All right, and then margin 10. Margin 10. Okay, so that's my thing. That's my text, and now we add another button at the bottom, which is calculate the loan price. All right, calculate the loan price. Okay, I will create the button. We'll create not the button. I will create the touchable opacity. Calculate my loan. All right, calculate my loan. So touchable opacity. Alright, style button. I get it from here. Actually, I letak sini. I get it from here. But of course you can adjust. So you can adjust, for example, color, and you want something else, you adjust it to be something else. All right, so maybe I adjust lah, right? I just put indigo, for example. So I have to import. On press is not defined, so this one will do like this. This is calculate loan. So on press, I change it to calculate loan. So where was it just now? Touchable opacity, calculate loan. I will create a variable here, const calculate loan equals to, and then I will do it here. And error here. Okay, so I shared with you the formula. All right, so once everything is okay like this, all right, once everything is okay like this, I shared you the formula. Lama tulisan ni buruk. All right, if you don't like this, I want to change the tulisan. All right, so this tulisan I can just do style. All right, equals to color equals to white, for example. Cantik sikit lah. All right. So you have that, all right? You have the formula, all right? Now you're going to implement the formula. That's the difficult part, right? The creating the UI is not that hard, all right? So that's we did it yesterday. Then the next part is to use the formula that I gave, all right? So this is the formula for to calculate property property loan calculator. So try to digest it, try to use this, and then try to code it. All right. So that's what this is the business rules. You have to code the business rules. Right? You have to code the business rules. Right. So this one I give time as well. Okay, we try. I migrate with Jab, and then after this we at least we can cepat sikit lah, right? You just continue. I migrate with Jab, and then we continue after this. Okay. So for this one, property price, down payment, DP, yeah. So let DP price equals to DP times house price, kan? Bahagi 100%, 10% DP per 100. So that's DP price. So interest there, year there. Annual interest. Let annual interest. Let annual interest equals to DP. Interest rate. Interest rate divide by 100 times 12. Alright. So, amount borrowed. Just do like this. Just let amount borrowed equals to property price, house price. House price minus DP price. DP price, DP price. Discount. So let discount, right, equals to 1 plus annual interest power of year times 2. Alright, power of year times 12. So I have to do math.pow. So math.pow. Alright, this year times 12. Year times 12. So year times 12. Yeah. Okay. And then divide by tolak satu. So this one I will minus 1. Just follow the formula. If everything is okay, normally nothing will go strong. Tolak satu, right, and divide by what's the formula? Annual interest times let's copy this note. I will just copy this notes. Yeah, you can do that. You can copy this note. No, you cannot. You don't have any. So just need. Okay, annual interest times 1 plus annual interest. Alright, power of year times 12. Alright, math dot power of year times 12. Okay, I hope everything is okay. Alright, I hope everything is okay. Because we will never know until we try it. Alright, we will never know until we try it. So monthly payment, so let monthly payment equals to amount borrowed divided by discount. Okay, so macam tinggal satu bracket. I think it's okay. Yep. Kenapa ni? Expected the bracket, there's missing bracket here. Alright, so once I do that, I'll do alert monthly payment. Alright, alert monthly payment. You just follow the formula. So you look at the formula, you try it, and then you see. So if everything is okay, you can check your loan, right? If it's the same as your house loan or something, that is correct lah. So I will see. For example, my house price is 400,000. Right, down payment is 10%, interest rate is 4.4, loan year is 35. Calculate my loan. Silap ni. Right, so that's why. If you my 1.27, something is wrong. Alright, so later we check why is it wrong. Okay, can try first. See if you get something. But I also have to check what is wrong with the formula. Alright, maybe maybe I get it wrong somewhere. Okay, I will take this. It's down, right? I will take this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to check the formula. I will take it. I do it in CodePen. All right, so that's one way as well. I can do it in CodePen as well. And then check. All right, if you just want to check if the formula is correct or not. So I will have like DP, down payment is 10%. Right. House price just now, I set it to 440,000 kan, 440,000. Interest rate, I set it to 4.2 just now. Okay, normally should be fine. What else? House price done, down payment DP10, house price done, something is wrong. Year is 35. Right, like year equals to 35. So let's see mana yang salah. Okay, so this is the thing. So annual interest console.log amount borrowed. Okay, betul kan? I pinjam 3,900, betul. Annual interest to 0.504, betul. Wait a minute Food Panda arrive. Let me get my Food Panda kejap. All right. So this one is okay. This count ni macam salah. Alright, this count I think is something is wrong. So I have to check the formula. So maybe I didn't write it. So 1 plus annual interest power of year times 12 tolak 1 bahagi annual interest. Ni I tertinggal ni. Right, times annual interest. Alright, so I tertinggal ni. So times and up. So this one power. Ini tak payahlah kan? Why I have this? Okay, so ni tutup ni. Alright, ni tutup ni. Oh yeah, the internet also. Okay, if internet not bad, if internet is bad, you let me know. So this one times annual interest. So I missed something. If I miss something, then something might be wrong. Okay. Still the same thing. This is too big. So let this count. 1 plus annual interest power of year times 12 tolak 1 bahagi annual interest times, oh ni tak ada, 1 plus annual interest power of year times 12. Okay, so monthly payment amount borrowed divide by discount. Boleh juga because I don't think that's my monthly payment. Let me see. The house is 440,000. Down payment is 10%. Year is 35 years. Interest rate. House price is okay. All right. So let discount equals to 1 plus annual. Jadi memang kena tengok betul-betul. If anyone see anything wrong, let me know. Power of year times 12 minus 1. All right. So this is divide by 1 annual interest times 1 plus annual interest power of year times 12. Console dot list now and then monthly payment. But that's too big. Let me check back if something is wrong as well. The formula. I have the formula on my phone. Then I check. One plus annual interest discount equals to 1 plus annual interest kuasa year times 12 tolak 1 divide by annual interest times 1 plus annual interest year times 12. That one is okay. Annual interest. I'll check that one more there. I have the thing. Let the payment. Amount borrowed is property price minus down payment price. Annual interest is 4 divided by 100 times 12. Down payment Down payment is percentage times ni, correct. Discount 1 plus annual interest year times 12 minus 1 annual interest times 1 plus annual interest 1 plus annual interest year times 12. Dah betul dah. Times ni semua dah bahagi. This one should push this one. Monthly payment is amount borrowed divided by discount. Macam begini tak ni Formula looks okay. Let me see if yang lama-lama punya kalau ada. I want to see where did I get wrong. I didn't see it. Annual interest. Down payment 0.1 times set price. Set price minus down payment. So, kan? So down payment I pay 10%. Down payment divided by 100. Down payment plus 10% times house price. So this is the amount. Annual interest. Ini lagi pula. Annual interest divided by year minus 2.1. Annual interest year. Oh, I think I think macam tak kena, tak ada tu. Let's see Jadi macam ni. Yup. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. And then this one divide by 12. Here, this is yearly payment. Tak ada juga. This is not what I paid. Okay, tak apa. Let me see if I put it somewhere on GitHub. I'm sure that I put it somewhere on GitHub as well. The formula je. Dia actually once the formula is correct, that's it. The hardest part is to just get the formula correct. If I give you the wrong formula, obviously it's going to be wrong. So let me check. Tak ada juga. Calculator. I never Android passenger simple. See property calculator. Property calculator. Okay, tak apa macam property loan. Maybe I call it loan. Tak ada juga lah loan calculator. Tak ada juga. Okay, let's see. Nampak lagi. Down payment. Payment. I'm sure that I'm not that far. Cuma I think macam lagi susah. Okay. Satu cakap you way to loan calculator. Let me see. Property. Apa benda ni? Okay, I will try to see one more time. I think the benda ni dah macam betul, but I will just try one more time. If not, then the formula is wrong. Then I have to get the right formula. I think I have it. Oh fuck. Maybe I have it on my phone. Can't remember what student name. Because actually this exercise, one student helped me, but I can't remember his name already. What is the student name? David, Frank, can check. Okay. This exercise was given by a student. So I need to find his name. He's the one who gave me the formula. So I think he messaged me the formula previously. So let me check. Check. Okay. So I found the formula on the phone. Let me see. I will share with you on Slack as well. Up. So that's what programmer do lah, basically, right? So you have this real world problem, right? That's our job as a programmer. We have this real world problem, right? So in this case, for example, the real world problem is actually this Jack, all right? So you know the student name is Jack. Jack is now. I was checking his name. He gave me his job is the real estate agent. All right, so he want his client to be able to calculate their ni lah, right? Their loan, right? Easily, right? So that's why he come lah, right? So why not you give this exercise to your to us, right? He said to us lah, right? So that's the history. So he shared with me the formula. All right, he helped me with the formula. I thought that's the formula, all right, but let's see what he wrote there. He helped me calculate lah, all right. So 1 times 1 plus 0.042, all right. This is the, I think we stuck here, all right. I think we stuck here. So, oh, you have the formula, is it? 1 times 0.042, right? So 1 plus, I think it's the interest rate. So interest rate, all right, we don't need the annual interest rate. We just do the interest rate, right? 4.2 divided by 100. So his new formula, now I check back, right? His new formula, he don't use an annual interest rate. He only use a normal, because my house last time I bought 4.2. That's where the number comes from. All right, so 1 plus interest rate all right, power of year, all right, minus 1. Power of year minus 1. That's the top part. Divide by interest rate times 1 plus interest rate. So this one is interest rate. All right, so 1 plus interest rate times here. All right, so I'm basing on Jack's formula. If it's correct, this number should be around 117.89. Right? If it's correct, the number should be around 17.89. So that up. I get. Math dot power. Okay, where the math dot power 1 plus interest rate divided by year times interest rate. So this one plus this one, this one plus this one. Why is it there? Line 12, something is wrong. Line 12. Why is it here? Okay, math dot power. Okay, this one is not needed. So this one, there's now another. This one is close here. Okay, so this one close this one. This one the other. So this one close this one. All right, this one close this one. Okay. Then the number that I gave you is around the same. All right, 17.89. This number that I want. And then yearly payment. This is yearly payment. All right, yearly payment. Okay. And then monthly payment is monthly payment equals to yearly payment divided by 12. Okay, so I think that's that's more reasonable. Right, that's more reasonable. Well, since I myself make a lot of mistakes, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard. If you have the right formula, it's not hard. If you don't have the right formula, then it's hard lah, right? The problem is I was not giving you the correct formula. I mean, the formula that I gave you might be correct, but I might miss something. Okay. But when I check at Jack's paper, then I find the right formula. So we just paste it there. All right, we just paste it there. Well, there's no, even if I paste it there, right, you still need to properly clean it. All right, we cannot simply use it because now we have to bring it back over there. So that's how I do lah. Right. Sometimes if I'm stuck with a particular formula or something, I always go back to CodePen, right? And then I do the things over there. Then I bring it back to Visual Studio Code or something. Right now, I bring it back to Visual Studio Code. Okay. So I have to start with DP price. Okay, this DP price. So I have to copy from here. Okay, so let's see. Let DP price equals to DP divided by 100. Let year tak payah. Year no need. Alright, year we take it from there. Amount borrowed equals to house price minus set house price, DP price. Let discount equals to interest rate, year, right? Cost, this one I don't need. This one I will do let monthly payment, right? Let monthly payment. So once I have that, all right, try 4,000, all right. I think it's 4.2, all right. Sorry, this one, right? 10%, 10%. 4.2, loan is 35. All right, so I pay still 138,600. Couldn't be. I already checked just now. Something is still wrong. Okay, one more time. So DP price. Oh, I did not put the right thing. So this is for 440,000. Down payment I pay 10%. Interest rate 4.2. Year is for 35 years. All right, 132,000. Cannot be. Berapa kali nak buat ni? Alright, so let's see. I will check directly from the code. Alright, I will check directly from the code. So down payment price is DP. Down payments 10,000, 10 divided by 100 times house price. Amount borrowed equals to house price minus DP price. That discount math.power 1 plus interest rate year minus 1 math.power. So I will just do here. We just do alert discount. I want to see the discount correct or not, the formula. Okay, try one more time. For 10%, 4.2, 35. Discount salah. Alright, discount should be 18 point something. Alright, we saw it just now. So let's check back the formula. So math.power 1 plus interest rate. 1 plus interest rate. Oh, interest rate have to divide by 100. All right, so interest rate here I have to do let interest rate equals to interest rate divided by 100. Yeah, so that's, I think that's the things that's missing. Not a number. Okay, dia ni kot. Let IR lah, I tukarnya IR, interest rate, IR. Okay, I think we got it. All right, so that's about it. Almost the same as what we did, right? But if you notice, right, the interest rate here kena bahagi 100. So I do here lah, IR interest rate. Just that was 4.2. I letak dia IR interest rate, and then I bagi 100, and then all the formula at the bottom dia kena pakai yang that interest rate. So once I have that, I can do here. So cons monthly payment, right? Set monthly payment equals to use state here, and then I will just do set state. Set monthly payment. Set monthly payment equals to monthly payment. All right, and then over here, I can put at the bottom, your monthly payment is okay. That's about it. You can try and edit. Give me 10 minutes. I want to have quick dinner. Makanan yang sampai ni sejuk. After this, we're going to do free code camp. Alright, we're going to do React.js exercise together, so that our React, we try to clear it before we continue next week. Alright, so I will just leave my screen here. Alright, if you need anything, you can just Slack me. I'm just going to have a quick dinner here. The food that I ordered just now, fast food, and then we continue with React.js theory. All right, so not to be confusing, you are doing React Native, but the principle is still React.js, right? And then you will see the same thing, right? And then it's going to be used throughout the first 3 weeks. Okay, so quick sampai 8.35 break. I see you later. Anything you Slack me? Anything you Slack me? Okay. Right, quick dinner. If everything is okay, we do freecodecamp. Right, we will do. We'll just put here lah. Calculator. Okay, I lupa lagi formula, right? So property calculator. Save it. Right, freecodecamp. Okay, so you might already did it, or you might not did it yet. But well, I will. What I can remember is I never give you the answer, lah, right? So now it's time for me to give you the answer. And we try to do React.js. So why do you learn React.js? Because the base of React Native is React.js. Right, we have done React.js in module 2. Right, you will see the same principle, use state, component did mount, or use state, component did mount, use effect, right? Just in case you forgot all that, because we did that before we do AWS. So now is the time to recap, right? Prop, state, right? So all that we did before, before we did apa? Before we did AWS kan? So habis. Alright, so JSX. Alright, so React is an open source library. Alright, saya sama. What is my account number? Okay, so yang ini JSX, alright. What is JSX? JSX is just like HTML and JavaScript and CSS, but inside JavaScript, alright. So it's HTML, but inside JavaScript. So the difference, for example, the difference is, for example, is the one that we class name, alright. So in JavaScript you use class. In HTML you use class. In JSX use class name. Any other difference that you see? What are the other difference between JSX and HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Tinggal write dengan ni je. So for example, the property, alright, the property for ni kan, margin top, alright. So this is CSS, but in JSX, margin top, right? It's become camel case. So these are some of the things that you see. What else? What else? What else? So if this one we will do React.js, sorry, I have to check back. react.js dot ni. So there, class name, class name is one. There's something else, but I can't remember as well. There's something else, but I can't remember. So these are the two things. These are the two things that I can remember. There is something else, but I can't remember now. Okay. So in this exercise, very easy. All right. They want you to the current code uses JXX to assign a div element to constant JSX. Right, replace div with h1. Right, so this is how it looks like. Replace div with a h1, and then inside the element you will do hello JSX. All right, so the first exercise for the free code camp, very easy. All right, and then I will go to the next exercise. Okay, so this is creating a complex JSX. We've seen this together as well when we do React.js, and when you do React Native also, you need to remember when you do return. All right, so there will be the time where you do return like this, and you have return like this. It can only have one element. So this is what it means. Same thing. React Native same, React.js also same. You cannot do it like this. You cannot do it like this. You cannot do return paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. You always need to embed it with one element. All right. In this case, they use div. If you're doing React Native, you will use view. Yeah. So that's the second point. That they want to tell you. All right. So in this example or in this exercise, you will create a new constant JSX, which will have a div. All right, which will have a h1, which will have a p. All right, which will have a ul, and which will have 3li. All right, 3li. And then you can add any text in between. So my favorite things. This is my favorite things. All right, holiday. Okay, rest, and then Netflix. Okay, so that's what it is. So the idea from this exercise, all right, when you do JSX, you need to ensure that you return one element. Inside that one element, then you can return the other elements, right? So that's for number 2 for React.js and React Native in general. Adding comment, all right? Adding comment like this. All right, but I think you can do bracket slash also. All right, bracket, no, bracket slash cannot. All right, so it's not going to be like this. So it's like this. Add a comment somewhere within the div element without the modifying the h1 and h2. All right, so they just want to add comment. This is a comment. This is a comment, and then curly bracket. All right, curly bracket. This is a comment. But I think in here it will do it properly. Let me see. We do shift slash. All right, it will do it properly. All right, in freecodecamp we have to type. All right, in freecodecamp we have to type. In Visual Studio Code, all right, you just do shift slash, right? No issue, right? This one is quite straightforward. Do you want to give money later? Okay. So far, you have learned, right? You have learned that JSX is convenient, right? To me, right? React or DOM, all right? You can also, right? You can also write directly at React DOM. So basically, right? When you have JSX, all right? When you have JSX, what happen is, all right? It will, all right? There will be this code, which is running, right? You need to have react, all right, react DOM, all right, dot render, and then JSX, I think it's something like this. I will show it inside document get element by ID challenge dash dot. All right, if I'm not mistaken, get element by ID. Right, or I'm not sure, is it like this or like this? With arrow, open your browser, or like this. Like this. All right, so this is what happened behind. You can see it, if I'm not mistaken. So you have, this is your app.js. Normally you start typing here directly, right? Normally you start typing here directly. Let me try if I can find it. Normally it's inside I can't remember. Okay, sorry, I can't remember where it is. Right, I can't remember where it is, but it's somewhere. All right, so this code is actually written somewhere, but I can't remember what it is. All right, so when you do app.js, all right, when you do app.js, you do directly this part, all right, but somewhere behind, all right, somewhere behind it, by default this is written for you, all right, by default this is written for you. Over here I cannot find it, all right, over here I cannot find it, but it's there, all right, it's there. Right, so that's what it means. So far you have learned JSX, all right. In order for you to render the JSX inside a div within an element, all right, you're going to use this way, react dom.render. I want to render this JSX inside inside the div with the following ID. Right, so that's what it means. I'm not sure you dah sampai part tu ke belum, right? When you do freecodecamp, have you reached that part? I'm not sure, right? So you can yeah. Okay, next one. This is the one that I mentioned. All right, this is the one that I mentioned just now. Normally you don't use class. All right, you don't use class. Oh, there. Say is there. All right, is there. So the thing that I asked you just now, all right, the naming convention, right? On click is on click instead of on click. On change is on change, small c instead of on change. All right, so class is become class name. All right, so apply a class my div inside div. Alright, so class name my div, maka jadilah cantik. Oh, not cantik, class name my div. It should return a div element. I think that's it. Alright, I don't know why they don't do color also. I don't know. Right, they should put different. Do you see the difference? Alright, they should put different color or something. Then only we will see the difference, right? So that's the one that I mentioned just now. That's the one that I mentioned just now. You have to have class name, class name. Okay. That's one thing. Number two is you need to close everything. I think when we did module one, I macam tak kisah lah, right? I never tell you, alright. So there is actually, right? There is this in HTML element now that you already did almost 4 months already. Then I can tell you. So normally you have this one. You have some HTML element like this. Right, there is a pair. And sometimes you have a HTML element that don't have a pair, right? That don't have a pair. So it's like this. All right. So this is the example, right? Last time I was like, okay, just do HR. Right, by default, normally you should do like this. How you mean? I want to close it, right? Because in JSX, all right, it's very sensitive, right? You open it, you need to close it, all right? So the answer is, please fix the one that you don't close. Then it's okay lah. Then it's okay, right? So same thing as well. I think some of the element, for example, text input, all right? So this one is this. If you do like this, you have to do like this, all right? Or you have to do like this. Everything need to be closed. If not, it's not working. Okay, next one. Stateless component. All right. So just now we're talking about state full component. There are two ways. There are two ways to create a component on React. The first one is called stateless component. The second one is called stateful component. What is the stateless component? All this while, right? All this while, when we did React together, we have been using stateless component, right? There is no word class. There's only function. Next week, when you do multiple page application, right? Next week, when you do multiple page application, you're going to use stateless component as well. All right, so you do function. You do second page, function. I always teach you like that, right? Copy, paste. All right. After this, they will do stateful component lah. But now they tell you, all right, this is how you create a stateless component. So same thing as well, same thing as well. Export the function app. So const my component equals to function. All right. So what does it want? It want that complete this code by returning a diff. Very easy. Returning a diff that contains some word. All right, that contains some word. For example, hello world. All right, hello world. The tag is called a child of the diff element, so you will not be able to use self-closing. So hello world like this. Simple lagi, senang aja. Press run all the tests. This is stateful component. All right, you never seen this. When we did React.js together, we never use stateful component. We always use stateless component. But this is for your information. All right, for your information, in case, all right, you're going to see it when you work, when you do a project with somebody, you saw this. So this the first way is doing that. The second way, slightly long. All right. By using stateful component, all right, when you do stateful component, you have class my component extend react.component, you will have a constructor. And all your code, all right, will be under render. Whatever that you see here, all right, will go here. So in this example, all right, the React component should return render. I think it's just like this, no return. Just do this. And then there will be a H1. All right. And then the H1 will have the word hello React. Thinking about it, I think need to have return. All right. Thinking about it, I think need to have return. It's going to be something like this. Return render return bracket. Okay, and then curly bracket. Okay, so this one is component with composition. All right, create a component with composition. So creating multiple components. So next week, all right, when we do multiple page, we will have multiple component. All right, so satu page, satu component. One page, one component. So now we will look at how we can compose multiple React components together. Imagine you are building an app that have three components: nav bar, dashboard, and footer. I think it was the same thing that we did. Nav bar, dashboard, and footer. To compose this component together, you should create an app parent. This is the parent, which will render each of these three components as children. Normally, this is our app lah, right? Our app will have a header, footer, and main. All right, header, footer, and main. Inside render return, all right, you will do something like this. All right. So when React encounters a custom HTML tag that is referenced to another component, it renders the markup of that component. So let's say that you have dev bar, it will look for function dev bar, and then it will render it. All right. So this is something that we have seen as well. So in this example, there is a child component and there is a parent component. So compose the two together by rendering the child component within the parent component and make sure that you close the child component. So you have this. Over here, you add child component. Right? This is something that we have seen as well. And lupa, everything that we have seen on module 2, right? Map, filter, reduce. We're going to see it again on module 3. Right? So that one, conditional rendering, all that, you're going to see it again on module 3. So that's what today also we do a recap as well, all right, of what you did in module 3. All right, nested component. How many exercises? React. Let's see. Try to finish everything lah. How many exercise? Dah habis dah. No, this one is Redux. Okay, jauh lagi ni we are still, alright, okay, tak apa, let's start. Component composition is one of React powerful features. When you work with React, it's important to start think of user interface in terms of component. Alright, you break down your UI into its basic block and those pieces become the components. So there are two functional components here. What is a functional component? Is the one that start with function. Right, not the one with class. That is class component. This one is functional component, stateful or stateless component. Types of fruits and fruits. You have types of fruit and fruit. Take the type of fruit component, right, and compose it or nest it within the fruit component. So they want me to call this component inside this component. This is types of fruit. Types of fruit. All right, and then don't forget to tutup. That's and then inside types of food component, you will have the fruits component. All right, the thing is slightly funny. So inside type of fruits component, you have fruits component. Jadilah dia. Okey. Ini sambungan. Extension to it. Alright. As the challenge continue, alright. We use more complex composition. Alright. There's one important thing to know. Rendering ES6 style component within another component is no different than rendering the simple component you use in the last challenge. Right. In the code editor, the type of food component, right, is already rendering a component called vegetable, right, which is this one. Also, there is a fruits component from the last challenge. All right. Next two component inside of fruits. Inside fruits, pening baca. Non-citrus and citrus. All right, merah. Then I have to tutup. Both of these components are provided for you behind the scene. You don't see it. Next, nest the fruits class component into the type of food component below the H1. Alright, below the H1. Alright, the result should be series of nested component. That's it. Okay, render a class component to the DOM. Alright, this one we already done. React.dom.render. Alright, react.dom.render. So you may remember using the React DOM API is an early challenge to render JSX element to the DOM. The process for rendering React components will look very similar. Alright, the past few challenges focus on component and composition. So the rendering has been done behind the scenes. However, none of the React code you write will render to the DOM without making the API a call to React DOM. Alright, so this is how you do it. React DOM.render, component to render, target node. Right, so target node is document.getElement by ID, and then the ID where you want it to be rendered. Alright, but this time, that's why I confused. Alright, this time around I have to put the bracket. This time around I have to put the bracket. So let's try to understand the challenge. So both of the fruits and vegetables component are already defined for you. Render both components as children of types of food. So inside type of foods, I should have fruits and I should have vegetable. All right, it's not going to be rendered. All right, how do I render it? I render it using document React DOM. All right, so React DOM dot render. All right, so this one I'm going to do types of food. All right, so document dot get element by ID challenge. No, baru. All right, so that's behind the scene that you don't see. Is somebody write it? You don't see, but somebody write it. But I cannot. I also don't remember where's the file is. Right, but somebody behind the scene write all this file. Okay, ini susah sikit ni. Not susah lah because we are writing everything from scratch. Berapa dah kita buat? Something. Banyak lagi ni. Alright, tak apa. We try to finish. Still have time. Okay, so these questions we're going to write a component. So class my component, all right, extends react dot component, right? So they asked me to do it. Okay, then all right, if you remember, right, I have to have a constructor. Constructor will have super. Okay, I buka Europe ingat betul lah. Let's see. Constructor have to have super props or super props. Constructor props, super props. Okay. I think okay, yeah. Constructor prop, super prop. Then I have render here. All right, return. It should return a diff. Inside a diff, it should have an h1. Inside h1, my first react component. I think that's it. Kenapa merah? Alright, so they should have a react component called my component. My component should contain an h1. My component should render to the DOM. So this one I tak buat. So react DOM.render my component, comma, document dot get element by ID challenge. No, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Normally should come out. Normally should come out. Something is wrong. Let me check back. So that class fruits extends react.component. So class my component extends react.component, capital C. Okay, so that's where it goes. Yang lain semua okay, but I miss small c, capital C. Sebab itu saja, right? Sebab itu saja. I got it salah. Okay, berapa lagi? How many questions left? Alright, props. Let me get a drink first. Hari ni cakap banyak. Normally Friday I don't talk too much, but you I talk too much. Let me get a drink first. Okay. Pass props to a stateless component. What is a props? Props is the variable that you pass from a parent to a child component, right? We saw the notion of parent and child component. So some of the data, all right, you want to pass from parent to the child component. How do you pass it? How do you pass it? Through props. Okay. Macam ni So in the calendar component, I should have a current date component, which is this one. Then I will pass a prop date. All right. And the date should be today's date lah, 3 December. So I will pass 3 December. All right, 3 December. Yeah, how do you, oh, date. Like this, curly bracket date, right? Curly bracket date. All right, so I pass it. So I pass the date, all right, to the current date. And then from the props, from the child, I will call the props dot date. Right, so now I have it lah. So I pass this to the child. The prop name is date. The child retrieve it from props.date. Right? This is something that you have seen. Normally you do it on LI. Masa buat LI, you see it a lot. Render item. LI, you see this a lot. And of course, when you do lists, right? You do lists this time around, you will see the same thing a lot as well. So baru cakap, I think after this is LI. After this is LI already. So the last challenge demonstrated how to pass information from a parent component to a child component as props or properties. This challenge looks how an array can be passed as prop. It must be treated as a JavaScript and you wrap it in a curly braces. Alright, the child component then has access to array property colors. Array methods such as join can be used when accessing. They use join. Join is actually combining the items in an array with a string. Right, for this example, they will join with a comma. Alright, there are list and to-do components. This is the questions. There are list and to-do component in the code editor. Right, this is list. This is a to-do component. When rendering each list from the to-do component, pass in a task property assigned to an array of to-do tasks. Then access this task array in the list component showing its value within the P element. Use join to display the props.task array in the P. Right. Actually, I don't know. Should I create the task or it's already there? The one I'm not sure. I think macam kena buat. I think let's see. Let's try to do it. So I will pass task into list. Alright, let's see if task is already there or not. I don't think task is there. So I have to create a variable task. I will do it here maybe. So const task equals to walk doc workup. Cannot use cross. I think I have to do it here. Alright, I have to do it before return, right, somewhere over here. Okay, so I have to do it before return because this is not stateful. If it's sorry, this is stateful. So if it's stateful, I have to do it inside return. And then from here, I will call the task. So props dot task. I will join it with a comma. Task with an S. Right. This task should be the same as this. Okay, something is wrong. I know what is wrong. Okay. Props dot task. Props dot task. I pass it here. What's the error? Canary property of undefined join. Props dot task. Yeah, the props dot task was. Okay, prop dot task is there. Alright, it's an array. Use join. Okay, both instance of the list should have a property. Both instance of the list should have the property task. Ini pun Okay. The second experiment of tomorrow should have 3 or more items. The list column should return the value from the task prop in the p tag. Betul lah. P tag const task const tomorrow task equals to sleep, eat, and play. Right, this tomorrow task. Not here. It should be inside the list. Okay, that's one. Okay, but the join is not working. The list should render the value of the yang problem is the join just now. Use join to display. I have to look at documentation how to join array. And maybe I know array type join. Rasa dah betul dah. So this is an array, right? Dot join. Okay, I know just now why it was wrong, but now it's correct. So props dot task dot join comma. Okay, using default props. I think this one we have not done together. So it's a good thing that we do this so that we can see new things as well together. So using default props is not something that we have done together. So React also has an option to set default props, all right? So if the props is not specified, the default props will be used. That's what it means, yeah. This allows, this one, yeah. For example, if you declare my confident.default props equals to location underscore, you have decided a location props that set to San Francisco unless it is specified differently. Right? The code editor shows a shopping cart component. Define default props on this component which specify prop items to value 0. So you will do shopping cart dot default props equals to items equals to 0. Right, so once I have that, run the test, no issue. Right, so that's default props. What is the value of the props is if user does not specify it. The ability to set default props is a useful feature in React. The way to override the default prop is to explicitly set the props value for a component. Right. The shopping cart component now render a child component items. Right. So the shopping cart now have items. This item components has a default props quantity of 0. Override the default prop by passing G10. Right. So over here I will just do quantity equals to curly bracket 10. All right. Okay, so that's very easy. All right, that's how you override a prop. So now it's a prop type. Yeah, just now you were looking about on default props. Now it's a prop type. All right, you can also specify that the prop given is on a specific type. All right, so React provides useful type checking features to verify that component receive props of the correct type. For example, your application makes an API call to retrieve data that you expect to be an array which is then passed to a component as a prop, right? You can set prop types on your component to require the data to be of type array, right? So is this a best practice to set prop types where you know the type of the prop ahead of time? You can define prop types properly. The same way you define a default prop types, but now you use prop types instead of default props. So item, all right, dot prop types equals to, all right, in the example above, what was the question? All right, define prop types for the items so that the quantity, right, will be a number, right? So, number, capital N. Okay, you see like the number. Okay, so other than that, right? So there is a function, right? It can also return a function. It can also return a boolean. It can also return a function and boolean. Right? If you remember your module 2, right? Passing up data, right? If you pass up data, right, you will send a function as a prop to the child component. So that's why in that case, you might want to set the default props to func, right, which is a function. Hey, salah. It's a number. That's what I thought. I think it's a number. Number is not defined, or it has to be single quote. It has to be single quote, maybe. All right. Bukan juga ya. Prop types. Let me see what's wrong. Prop types dot. All right. Prop types also. Prop types dot number. Contoh ya. Example. Prop types dot number. Prop types dot number. Correct lah. Prop types dot number. Oh, but they asked me to import lah. Oh, I have to import it first, right? And I have to import it. Well, they should. Import prop type from prop types. Require prop types and number. Oh, kacau sikit this question. Show component shopping cart. Shopping cart component should random. Items component should random. Okay. Something is wrong with this. It does not show me so my component prop type, item prop type. The example also is not really helpful. It's inputted like this. I think okay, I might need to do this. But if I do this, require is not defined. Require is not defined. Number. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I have to see. Kenapa tak ada app? Prop type. Use prop type to define props that you expect. I think there's a bug and everyone was looking for it. Oh, is required, right? I think the question was to check if a number is required. I missed the word is required there. All right, so this one. Define prop type for the item to required. So I missed that. I did not read it properly. All right, so is required. All right, is required. I think I still get prop types. Prop types dot number is required. Prop types dot number is required. Right. Just now I think I got it, but I didn't read. It needs to make sure that it's required and it's explained lah, right? So for example, if you want it to be is required, then it's going to be required. Okay, access props using this dot props. Using this dot props, I'm going to access props. So the last 7 challenge covered the basic ways to pass props to child components. But what if the child components that you're passing a prop is an ES6 class component rather than a stateless component? So you have what was it? Class component. You have class component. Previously, I think it was using functional component, right? So recap, class component, you will see the word class. Functional component, you don't see the word class, you see cons like this. All right. So if that's the case, you will use this keyword. All right. You cannot call props directly. You have to use this dot props. All right. So if it's class, you have to use this dot keyword. All right. This dot props. So in this example, all right, render an instance welcome. Give it a props of name. Assign it to a value, which is a string. I think your name Muzaffar. Muzaffar. All right, within the child component. All right, within the child component, which is in welcome, I will call welcome. All right, this dot props dot name. All right, so this dot props dot name. So run the test. Okay, so that's the following question. So you use this. Okay, so what's the challenge? What's the challenge? So review using props with stateless functional component. So except for the last scenario, you have been passing props to a stateless functional component. This component acts like a pure function that accepts props as input and return the same view every time they are passed the same props. You may be wondering what state is, and the next challenge will cover it in more detail. Right? Before that, here's a review of a terminology for components. A stateless component is any function you write which accepts props and returns a JSX. So const, It's a function. A stateless component, on the other hand, is a class that extends React.component, right? But does not have an internal state, right? Finally, a stateful component is a class component that does maintain its own state. After this, we will see what state is, right? A common pattern is try to minimize statefulness and try to create stateless components. So which means that most of the time, people will create function without state, and then they try to put state somewhere, so normally on top lah, on the parent component. All right, so try to make it stateless as possible. This help contain your state management to a specific area of your application. No, oops, oi. Okay, sorry, aku putus hari ni line, nanti kita. Right, this helps contain your state management to a specific area of your application. All right, in turn, this improve development and maintenance of your app. Nanti kalau sempat, we will see Redux as well. I think we can see Redux because we have more time together now compared to last time. So the code editor has a campsite component that renders a camper component. All right. Define the camper component and assign defaults props of name. Right. So they ask me, they don't tell me how I should define it, so I can define it as I want lah. So I can do, for example, const camper, all right, equals to empty string like this. Inside the camper component, return any code that you want. So for example, I will do h1 hello. All right, then it should come out lah. But I think there's something. But make sure to have one P that includes only the name value that is passed in the prop. So I need a prop here. And then I need to create a P. So I need a div. And inside the div, all right, I will have a P. And inside that P, all right, I will have a props dot name. And pass it as a prop. All right. The S props and props. Sorry, this is name, not prop. Okay, finally define prop types on the camper. All right, so finally define prop types of the camper. So that name is going to be a string. Is required. All right, so there's the word to required. Yeah, string is required. String required is prop types. Prop types. This one selalu lupa. Prop types. Dot string dot is required. All right, so this is, we just try to answer. We actually, this one is a recap. They try to get back all the past questions. All right, all the questions that we have. We try to answer it. Ada benda tak? The camper code name should include default prop. Default prop. So camper dot default props equals to name equals to camper bot. Okay. All right, so that's this question. How many questions we have? Let me check. Banyak tak lagi? I should have reset it before start. Stateful component. Okay, I will stop here for today. All right, we'll stop here for today. Next week we'll do like this as well. The first part we'll do a project. Second part we do a stateful component. I think some of you might want to watch the video and then to chat back. And then I worry as well, some of our friends, Kesavan and Diana, nanti dia kena kejar balik the video. So let's not try to go a lot. But if you want to stay and continue, you can stay and continue for the stateful, right? And then next week is going to be a little bit faster because you're checking your answer instead of you're waiting for me to do it. Right? So this is Friday. We do a little bit revision. Things that was too fast a little bit on module 2, we can do it now as well. Okay, so have a nice weekend. I think some of you are on cuti hari ni. That's why Diana also Diana pun dia away for holiday. I think parents coming because public holiday, right? So not public holiday, holiday in KL.